Hello everyone. We are here because today we would like to discuss how to simplify cross-border complexity with my lovely colleague, Connor. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Hello everyone. My name is Connor Kirkland. I am the EMEA sales lead for the cross-border team here at Avalara. So what I specialize in is everything to do with HS code classification, duty calculation, and also everything to do with tariffs as well. So I've been a very, very busy boy over the past couple of months. My previous experience, I have 10 years in the logistics industry. So I have worked with all kinds of customers, from the smallest of smallest startups all the way to some of the largest multinational corporations you can think of, and everyone in between. So I have a keen interest in helping businesses export their products worldwide and ensure that they can get their products to wherever their customers may be globally. So pleasure to be here today.
Well, thank you so much, Gunnar. And I think we can start with some of the questions that we've got today. I mean, this year has been quite interesting, hasn't it? Naming one of the biggest countries in the world that has introduced quite a lot of changes. But what has been the biggest shock, I think, for the businesses this year that you can share with us in terms of, because tariffs and all these rules have been changing so dramatically, in the last few months, really.
Yeah, so 2025 has been a crazy year. It's been mental. So every single week, there seems like there's been different changes coming in, and businesses have been finding it very hard to kind of stay on top of all these rule changes. So it all began on, I guess, Donald Trump's inauguration on January 20th. And then on the 1st of February, tariffs were then put in against Canada, China, and Mexico. Then over time, more and more changes were brought in almost on a weekly basis. So what it meant with these tariffs is that certain countries had additional effectively fees being put onto products as they were entering into the US. Okay, and this continued on a weekly basis throughout the whole of H1 and now into H2 as well. So it has been a bit of a testing time for a lot of businesses this year. So the thing is, with these tariffs changing on a weekly basis, some exporters, I mean, particularly I know it happened here in the UK, is that they were shipping their goods from the UK, and when they were leaving the port, they actually had a different rate of tariff as when they actually arrived at the US. And this is how fluid the situation was. So sometimes...
Oh, so you mean that when the products actually left the UK and then those HS codes just changed by the time they arrived in the US?
So not the HS codes themselves, but the tariffs put on top of the HS codes.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then this meant that businesses were expecting, okay, we're going to be paying X amount in whatever those tariffs may be, those duties may be. And then when it arrived at port, it could be double or sometimes even triple. So it was very hard and for businesses to predict what their kind of costings would be. But sometimes it obliterated their profit margins. And that was just in the process of them just traveling across the water, across the Atlantic. So with this, many different types of products were affected. Primarily, and the key one that everyone knows about, is products of Chinese origin. So President Trump did this in order to protect the US economy. So with this, any goods that originated from China, they had significant tariffs put upon them. This meant that goods overnight became very, very expensive to import into the US. So a lot of drop shippers were affected by this, and not even just drop shippers, large retailers. Some of them, the biggest brands in the world, were affected overnight by this. And it meant that a lot of businesses then had to adapt to what was happening, maybe source goods from different locations in the world, but they had to all do it at the drop of a hat. And this is really why this year has been so turbulent for global trade. So with all these tariffs coming on, it has been clear that it has been, whilst it's been turbulent for the rest of the world, arguably the most turbulent thing that's happened to global trade since Brexit, It's been very, very profitable for the US this year. So the CBP, Customs Border Protection Agency, they noted at the end of August exactly how much they've brought in terms of duties, taxes, and fees this year due to the changes. The figure they gave was $195.9 billion in revenue this year, compared to the same for taxes, duties, and fees last year. It was 88 billion.
Oh, wow.
You can see the significance that all these changes have brought to the US economy.
Wow.
And that just really leads the question to, where are we going to be next year? Are other countries going to be considering similar changes to the US? It's interesting times, times. Very turbulent, but interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, thank you so much, Connor. And I think this was really interesting. And then I completely agree with you. It has been really interesting this year. But also, what elements do customers of ours, and not just that of ours, but any business need to take into consideration when they are, selling their products internationally? Normally, for example, whenever I speak to some of the Spanish customers, they just think that it's important for them to know that, okay, they ship from Spain to just to the US, but what else do we need to be looking into as well?
So, on the cross-border team here at Avalara, we deem global trade to have 4 key puzzle pieces. Okay, so the first one that businesses need to consider is de minimis exemptions. So de minimis, what that means is too small to matter. So that means that any goods that are too small to matter, if they're under a de minimis threshold for a country, then that means that duties are not applicable onto those shipments which are being sent in. Okay, so to give you an example on what this is, in the UK it's £135, Europe €150, but in the US it was $800.
It's quite high.
Yeah, correct. So it was really generous for every single shipment being sent across there. Now with these changes that have come in, as of August 29th, the US now have a de minimis value of 0.
Wow.
Okay, so this means that every single shipment that gets sent across to the US now attracts duties. So businesses that were never concerned about duties prior to this, now every single shipment is now being affected. So this is the first key puzzle piece that businesses need to look into. They need to understand what de minimis exemption or threshold is for a country, and they need to ensure at what point they need to actually charge these duties. So this is the first key puzzle piece. The second puzzle piece that businesses need to consider is country of origin.
Yeah.
Okay, so
for example, if there's a Spanish customer selling from Spain, it could be that the origin is not Spain, right? So it could be that it's a different country,
exactly,
right?
Zsofia, exactly. And I'm glad you said that. So there's so many businesses I speak to, and they get country of origin incorrect. Okay, so country of origin is where your goods are manufactured. Okay, where they originate from. It is not where they travel through. Okay, to make a clear distinction on that. So through all the kind of challenges that businesses have been facing this year with tariffs, etc., I've spoken to so many businesses and they say, oh, country of origin, it must be the UK. Our goods have traveled from China into the UK and we've passed it forward to the US. That is completely incorrect. Completely incorrect. That is what's known as a transshipment. Okay. So transshipment is that process of item coming into a country and then being sent forward. Okay. It would be highly illegal for a business to deem that shipment to actually be a country of origin as the UK. Okay. So it's not where your goods are actually being sent from. It's where your goods originate from, okay, where they're being manufactured. Now, there are obviously instances where if the items are imported into the UK and then sent onwards, but they're actually make substantial transformation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If that happens to those goods when they're in a country, substantial transformation, that means that the country of origin could change, okay? And in that instance, it could go, it could now be UK.
Yeah.
And an instance of that would be the shirt that I'm wearing, say, for instance, the goods actually, the materials come from, say, for instance, China, but then the shirt is put together in the UK.
I see.
Potentially that could designate that the item is actually of UK origin.
I see, okay.
But businesses need to be wary of that. The third point that businesses need to consider is declared value. Okay?
Yeah.
So declared value, what that means is the sales value of the goods. Now, this is the figure that you put onto your customs invoice, okay? Many businesses have, I've spoken to this year, I've tried to circumvent tariffs and duties by saying, oh, I'd like to just put manufacturing costs on there, it'll be fine. No.
Good, yeah.
That is also highly illegal, okay? So businesses need to ensure that they do have the correct sales value being put on the customs invoice, okay? So with that correct value comes the correct level of duties which are then applied. So whatever you're selling the goods for, that needs to be the declared value on this, okay? And then the final piece of puzzle piece for global trade, the way that we see it here at Avalara, is tariff code classification.
Yeah.
Okay? Tariff code classification. This is the most important and fundamental piece of shipping internationally. Okay? So what this means is that every single product in the world has its own HS code. You need to have the correct HS code for each of these products, so shipping worldwide. If not, incorrect level of duties can be applied, and many other different points can go wrong with your products when shipping internationally. Maybe I should take it back a little bit and kind of discuss a little bit about what tariff codes are. So tariff codes, HS codes, commodity codes, customs codes. They're all one and the same, really, okay, to kind of simplify it. Slight differences between them, but technically they're all the same. However, businesses get them wrong constantly, okay? So what these are, they're harmonized codes, and they are unique identifying codes for products being shipped internationally, okay? So with these codes, governmental bodies are able to accurately classify what these globally traded products are, and then it enables accurate calculation of the correct level of duties which need to be applied to these products, okay? So every physical product needs a tariff code, okay?
So just let's hear it again. Every physical product, everything.
Every physical product needs a tariff code.
Even though if there is no de minimis rules.
No. So every physical product needs a tariff code, okay?
Fair enough.
So my shirt needs a tariff code. My trainers needs a tariff code. Your beautiful blazer,
thank you,
that needs a tariff code. These cameras that are recording us, they also need tariff codes, okay? And so many businesses get this incorrect, okay? So
why do you think that is, that they get it wrong? So what could be the reason?
Businesses, they just like sticking with the kind of status quo and what they've done for years. And what typically a lot of businesses don't understand, that whilst there is, whilst every single product needs a tariff code, they get the actual incorrect HS codes for each of their products, okay? So what this means is that they use the same HS code for every single product, or they only use 6 digits when the standard is 10 to 12, or they use 6 digits plus 4 zeros at the end.
And why is that wrong to have 4 zeros at the end?
Well, there's a very interesting point about that, Zsofia. But what it means is, say for instance, let's use my shirt once again as an example, okay? If I send in this shirt to the US, it could have a slightly different HS code when it's going to Canada, a slightly different one going to UK, and a slightly different one going to, say for instance, Australia. But with this, the HS codes can actually change depending on the nation that you're shipping into, okay? So say for instance, if this is a 100% men's cotton shirt, it will have one code going into the US. If it was a 50% polyester, 50% cotton shirt going into the US, it could have a different code. If it was a women's shirt, then it's also going to have a different code, okay? Typically what you find is that a lot of businesses would just have, oh, that's our HS code for shirt. But no one HS code is going to cover all shirts, okay? So as I said before, many businesses that I've worked with, I say 80% of businesses do get this wrong. What they do is they get their codes passed down from effectively from generation to generation. So typically when I have discussions with businesses, I'll ask them where the HS codes came from, and they'll say, Gary in the warehouse. Gary in the warehouse gave them to us 10 years ago.
Yeah,
and they passed it to Steve, and Steve changed them.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, these are the ones that we use. And then really when I start delving into it, those kind of key areas kind of come up every single time. They're using the same HS code for loads and loads of different products. They've only got 6 digits rather than the standard 10 to 12, or they've got 4 zeros at the end of it. And if any of these kind of things are happening with businesses, and this is the way that they're working internally, they are shipping incorrectly, okay? So they're shipping completely incorrectly. Each and every product needs a different tariff code for all the different countries that you are sending to. So you need to be country specific, and you need to be product specific with the correct HS code. And this is really something to kind of send out to the audience here that's watching this. If businesses are experiencing changing duty rates each and every time they ship an item, if they're experiencing delays for no reason on shipments when they're sending them, if they're being asked for more information on what their products actually are, then I can say fairly confidently that their HS codes are probably incorrect. Okay, this is the impact of using incorrect HS codes. These changing duty rates, these holds for no reason, and typically, a lot of businesses just believe this to be down to the logistics companies. Okay, that's completely incorrect. It's their issue, and they can take control of it. Okay, I'll give you a really good example. And everyone at Avalara is sick of me using this example, but I'll use it once again. In my previous role, I used to work with a car manufacturer, a really, really large car manufacturer in the UK. However, they were not in control of their supply chain. Okay, they didn't really know about what goods were coming in, didn't know what goods were going out, but most importantly, they weren't using the correct HS codes for their products, and they weren't using the correct declared values as well. So they saw that their duty bills were getting really, really high. They asked me to look into it. Basically what I found was that they were using these incorrect HS codes. They were declaring their values incorrectly. And with this, they were basically overpaying on duties by 500K a year.
Wow, that's a lot.
And that was just with one courier, okay? And this is a huge, huge car manufacturer. So many businesses, they just believe that logistics is a black hole that they can't control. And whenever the costs go up, they say, it's the cost of doing logistics. Every time I speak with a business, I urge them to take control of their supply chain, take control of their logistics, and they can make a real impact on what they're doing, and they can actually start saving money today.
Wow, I think that's a really, really good point. And then continuing from this, I think also we need to talk about Incoterms, right? Because that can also give quite a lot of complexity. There are various Incoterms. I think the two most used ones are DDP and DEP, if I'm correct. And also I have come across as well that the customers don't really understand the difference between these two Incoterms.
Yeah.
They don't really understand the implications either. So I don't know, what's your experience on that?
Yeah, so Incoterms, they are, so many businesses also, they find complications behind this as well. Typically the two most important and prevalent Incoterms are one, DDP, delivery duty paid, and 2, DAP, delivered at place.
Yeah.
Okay. So what this means in real simple terms is who is going to be paying for the duties.
Yeah.
So with delivery duty paid, you're basically saying to the courier that you as a business, you promise to pay any kind of duty fees up front on this. But on the back end, delivered at place means that you're leaving it all up to the responsibility of the customer. Okay. So let me put it to you, Zsofia, in a practical example. We haven't even practiced this. How does it make you feel when a courier knocks at your door? Hello, Zsofia, how are you? You okay? Yeah. I have your lovely new blazer here. You need to pay me £100. How does that make you feel at your front door?
Very bad. I definitely would say no thanks and just not paying that £100.
And it makes you feel sad?
Angry, I should say.
Angry?
Angry,
Ooh,
yeah, because I didn't know about that. I didn't
Yeah.
know about all of these extra charges.
Yeah. And then here's a question for you as well. Would you complain to that customer service team of that business, whoever it is?
100%.
Yeah?
100%, yeah.
Okay. And this is the thing. So many businesses, they leave duties up to responsibility of the customer. They say it's customer's responsibility to deal with that.
Not a great
we don't have the
experience,
time.
really. It's
Not
no.
a great experience. And I always say to them, think about it in opposite terms. You position yourself as a customer yourself, okay? And I walk them through that process. Well, how do you feel when someone turns up at your front door and charges you money? Oh, I don't feel great about it. So why are you leaving that experience to your own customers?
Yeah.
And there's so many unseen costs from this, okay? So not only does the customer say, no, I don't want this, then the businesses will have to pay return logistics costs on that product.
Yeah.
They still need to pay the customs processing fees on that with the courier, as well as the customer service complaints that they get from that customer, okay? Customer ringing up, the time of that customer service agent, and then that customer may not even come back to you again, okay? This is why, personally, I believe that the best Incoterm for a lot of retailers is to actually do DDP, delivery duty paid. So what this means is that your customer pays for the fees up front. It's displayed on the website.
Yeah.
So let's take your example again. You're going through the process of buying that lovely blazer, and you come to the checkout process, but you see the £50 charge at the checkout. Are you more likely to pay that than you are at your front door?
Yeah, 100%, because
Yeah.
you're already there.
Yeah.
And then if it's not extortionate,
Yeah.
and even if it's extortionate, people might think that, oh, I really want that, so I'm going to pay it.
Exactly, yeah. And this is it. With the transparency, businesses and customers even are more likely to actually make that purchase up front. So with that process of delivery duty paid, the customer, such as yourself, would pay that money up front.
Yeah.
But then that means that you're promising to the courier company that you're going to be paying for those duties, okay? So it goes through a lot more of a streamlined experience. Effectively, the goods will be sent to the end customer. It arrives at your front door. There's nothing additional to pay. It makes you feel happy.
Happy customer.
Yeah, happy customer, yeah.
Happy customer, happy life.
That's it, yeah, exactly. And then you get to wear that lovely blazer at the weekend. So it works out best for everyone.
Yeah.
And really, on that point, Zsofia, though, this is where we're seeing a shift this year, okay? So lots and lots of businesses used to always leave it up to customers to deal with.
Yeah.
They'll deal with the taxes and duties. We're not going to get involved. But the shift in all these changes this year, so many more businesses are shipping to a DDP model.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, we're seeing more B2B businesses do it as well, okay? Let's take away that example of a blazer, but let's say this is a manufacturing product. An assembly line is waiting, or it's part of a larger project, say for instance on a jet engine, say for instance. They need that part quickly and they need it instantly in order to fulfill this whole project. Otherwise there's a whole other load of costs that goes on in the background. If you leave it up to a DAP model in that instance, then that means when the goods arrive at a factory, say for instance, and they say, hello, Mr. Business, you owe us £5,000, say for instance, for duty fees. The business is going to be like, well, we can't pay that up front. What's going to happen? Those goods get taken away, and all the kind of associated costs that then get added on from that one transaction is unreal. So we're, interestingly enough, seeing more B2B businesses actually move to a DDP model. It's more streamlined for them, and most importantly, it keeps projects going.
Yeah, exactly. Much faster, no disruptions really.
You've got it. You've got it. So and that's just a little bit about Incoterms. So,
okay. So just continuing on this, what's the one thing that you wish companies would change in order to improve their global trade?
The one thing I say to pretty much every business that I speak to, and I think I touched upon it before, is take control of your supply chain, okay?
Yeah.
This logistics is not some black hole that you can't get involved with, okay? It's not it's not Gary in the warehouse, down in the dark, dingy warehouse, working away, doing whatever he's doing in terms of shipping packages, etc. You can get involved, okay? And this can really help you save money by getting involved in your supply chain and have a look at your logistics costs, okay? Take control of your supply chain. How do they do that? Well, so many businesses, they just stick with the methods that they've been using for years and years and years, okay? Go in and see what areas can be changed. So say for instance, if you have no idea what's coming in or what's going out in terms of shipments, there are ways to have build tracking APIs and dashboards within your own systems. Have a look into it. If you think that a courier keeps damaging all of your goods constantly, and sometimes businesses seem to think that it's a vendetta against their products, it's not. Take control of your supply chain. Your packaging probably isn't up to scratch, so have a look into that. But more to do with the world of tax compliance and duties. Taking control of your supply chain means if you are getting overcharged on duties, don't ring up the courier and start complaining about it. Chances are that your HS codes are incorrect. If you've been using the same HS codes that Gary gave you years and years and years ago, have a look into them.
They do tend to change something, like as far as I know, like every 5 years.
Correct. Yeah, they do tend to change. But with this, and as we've seen this year, the tariff rates tend to change as well. And this is the thing, if you don't have your HS codes in line, this is cutting into your profit margins at the end of the day. And with some products, this could be, the difference.
Yeah, I mean thousands or tens of thousands sometimes if
Correct.
we're talking about like huge B2B.
Well, huge B2B shippers, you're completely correct. It could be in the hundreds of thousands, depending on what the items are.
Yeah.
And that's all simply from using the incorrect HS code. So I always urge businesses, take control of your supply chain and don't see this as every issue that you see with logistics as, oh, it's the cost of doing logistics. Take control of your supply chain today. Take control of your logistics, and I promise you, you will start seeing costs being saved, and you will start seeing your profit margins going up due to it. So
Amazing.
That's very important.
I think that's the most important, profit margin going up for all of our businesses.
Exactly.
And then, with all of these complexities, changing tariffs, de minimis rules, all of these challenges, so how Avalara can help our customers? What can we do to make all of this a much smoother process?
Wonderful. Brought up a wonderful point there, Zsofia. So Avalara can help in several different ways, okay? So Avalara has always been known as a tax compliant company. I'd argue that we're actually a cross-border company, okay? Our cross-border solutions are second to none. They're incredible. They help businesses on a daily basis. If you're struggling with HS codes, you don't know who to turn to, we can help get you fully compliant HS codes internationally, worldwide, to over 180 countries, okay? Through our classification services, we can provide you these fully compliant codes where we fully research each and every one of these codes. Also, we have our self-service classification tools as well. These are being used by some of the largest corporations worldwide, manufacturing, logistics, all sorts of different areas, to help simplify the process of businesses being able to classify in-house.
Yeah.
We have a range of different tools in that regard. But also, one of our key areas of this is being able to do the duty calculation on every single shipment as well.
And not just the duty calculation, it's like the whole calculation of all of taxes, really.
Correct.
I mean, indirect taxes. So.
Correct, yeah. So tax, duties, and landed costs as well. So we can help businesses do this. We can eliminate guesswork. So no longer is it a logistics black hole that you know nothing about and only pay the bills on. You can predict how much it's going to cost to ship items before you ship them. Okay, you can stay on top of this. So
forecasting costs, I think that will help.
Yeah,
for all these. Yeah.
Exactly. And with this, so once again, the whole area of this classification, we do all the calculation of the duties and tariffs and taxes as well. And we can just help them have a more streamlined experience internally, in-house, in terms of these different areas, trading internationally, as well as giving them a more streamlined experience for their customers. And like you said earlier on, a happy customer, what was that?
Happy customer, happy life.
A happy customer, happy life. Yeah, I love it, Zsofia. So yeah, at the end of the day, that's what all our customers want, and that's what businesses want as well. So yeah, we can help provide that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Connor. It was really, really nice to listen to you, and because I think I have learned quite a lot about all of these topics, and I'm really hoping that anyone who's listening to this episode have learned quite a lot as well. And then, should you have any questions, please let us know, because my lovely colleague Connor, I'm sure he will be able to answer all of your questions.
Thank you, Zsofia. Really appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate your time. And yeah, I think if it was just a few takeaways that I'd like to give to the audience watching this today. Is one, every physical product needs a tariff code. That's seriously important, okay? Two, logistics is not a black hole. You can affect it. And three, I'd probably say, take control of your supply chain, okay? Make sure you do that today. And I promise you, you will start seeing a return in your profits, and you will start seeing a lot more of a better experience in-house as well as with your customers as well. So yeah, thanks for your time today, Zsofia. It's been wonderful.
Thank you, Connor.
Cheers.